what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sunday Night Charts with Jim of All Trades. Good to see you. Bitcoin is bouncing on the top trend line, threatening to bust to the upside. It's been looking bullish the last couple of weeks. We've been looking at the charts. Guys have been talking about the bullish scenario. She's pumping pretty good, but what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to keep pumping? Is there any chance this is a fake out? What could the wave structure be saying to us? All that tonight and more on Sunday Night Charts with Jim of All Trades. Welcome to the channel, guys. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Keith M. We'll get Moon Boy counts as always, and Bear Boy counts, guys. As you know, if this is your first time at the channel, I'm not a Moon Boy and I am not a Bear Boy. I'm just a real boy. I'm a real boy. I like to look at the charts from an unbiased perspective and be as neutral as I possibly can, so I can have the best analysis on the internet here. So let's jump into the analysis, guys. There's Andrew Vegas. Good to see you, man. Sean Stedman. What's up, man? A hero. What's up, Antonio? Hello, brother. How are you? Ricky Spanish. Evening, buddy. How are you? Es Joe Coco. Es Joe Coco. What's up, man? I hope you're doing well. Paul O'Hagan. Nice to see you as well. Well, there are the shout-outs to everybody that shouted me out this evening. So without any further ado, I think we ought to jump into the analysis. I'm going to give you my perspective from an Elliott wave trader's perspective, guys. I look at wave structure, and that's not the only thing I use, but it's what we do on Sunday Night Charts. We spend a lot of time looking at wave structure, see where the chart might be going, what the wave shape, these waves here, what they might be telling us about where price might be going. Because the market makes predictable and repeatable patterns that we get accustomed to seeing, and we can at least give some ideas for where the charts could go. But here, let me just say this: there's not a person in this world that knows where price is going. Nobody knows where price is going, except those that are moving the markets, and those are the banks, guys. Those are the banks, and they're moving the markets. And they know where they're taking it. They know they got a plan, and it's unfolding in front of us. We're just trying to figure it out and look at the evidence that's on the chart, see what it might be saying. So don't get caught in their traps, guys. Don't get caught in their traps. But we are pumping. We are bullish. And we just closed a weekly candle, guys. That weekly candle is extremely bullish. That's a very, very strong weekly candle. But let me suggest and let me point out that we've had other weekly candles that were strong. Let me point this one right up, that one right there. That was a very, very strong weekly candle. It was followed by two very, very strong bearish, actually three very bearish weeks in the market. Very, very strong week closed. It closed strong. And then began the week going up a little bit, and then boom, just took, it went down, went up. Went up, down, closed about where it opened, and then just played around at the top and then took a dive. Guys, that kind of stuff happens all the time in crypto. So just because we got a very, very bearish week here doesn't mean it's going to continue. That doesn't mean it has to do the same thing it did here either. I just want to point out that while my title seems very bullish, we're going to stay even keel. We're not going to go all in right now. It's not an all-in buy right now. Now, could the market go up from here? Absolutely. Where is it going? We're going to look at that in just a moment. But anyway, let's just stay as even keel as possible. Let's look at all the evidence and say, okay, what is the evidence of the chart telling us where it's probably going? Now, for the past several weeks, I've been pretty bullish, guys. I've been at least saying you cannot ignore the bullish signals that are on the chart. Okay. You can't ignore them because there's a real chance from an Elliott wave structure standpoint, as well as just candlestick analysis and any other TA you want to come up with. There's all kinds of reasons why we might be going up to 145K. That's my target, guys, if we break bullish. If we break bullish and strong bullish, I'm targeting 145. You heard it here first on the Jim of All Trades channel right here, 145. That's my major target. Now, is it definitely going there? I don't know. I don't know if it's going there or not. But we've got some bullish construction here. Let's talk about what that would be, okay? Now, we're on the weekly chart. So this is going to take weeks to play out. So it's not going up to 145 this week or tomorrow, okay? But get ready for a series of maybe some bullish weeks potentially coming. We are threatening at the moment. We are threatening to break out. We closed a higher, we now have broken this weekly level right here. This weekly level, which was the last weekly high. Okay. We had a high here, here, and here. We had 3 weekly consecutive lower highs, but we have broken the last lower high. We broke it. I mean, we closed above it. That's bullish. And so there's your first bullish sign. Okay. I never did ask how the audio video is doing. Let me know. Are we lagging? Is everything good? Does everything look good on your end? Let me know in the chat, guys, if audio and video is good, please. Okay. All right. Second line of argumentation that says, hey, there's a good chance we're bullish here. And that is we have a break in structure in the RSI. Okay, we have a break in structure in the RSI. You'll notice that we have a downtrend here. Downtrend, moving down, moving down, moving down. And now the RSI for the last several weeks has been pumping up. It has broken out of this downward trend. Okay, so the RSI momentum is breaking down. What you want to do to monitor that, to monitor whether that momentum is going to maintain or is it going to reverse and go down? Because this could easily just be a correction that rolls over. In other words, what I just drew right there could happen on the chart. Now, that would take many weeks to play out, no doubt. But nevertheless, that could play out. And so the RSI could turn over and go down. Just because it's turning to the upside doesn't mean it's going to maintain that trajectory. But you have to respect it. You have to say, hey, there it is. It's moving to the upside. You got to respect it at least. So, I mean, that's a good sign for you bulls. But here's what I would be doing. I'd draw that trend line right there, and then I'd draw a secondary trend line right here on the weekly RSI. All right, and if you get a break of that trend to the downside, okay, that's your first indicator of bearishness. If it comes down and breaks this one, that's a very, very strong indicator of bearishness, that we are very bearish for a while. Okay, so if this gets broken, this line, this bottom line that I've drawn, it's a very, very bearish indicator. Okay, now if I draw this trend line here, you'll notice that when price action, it did break it and then it popped back up. It broke and popped back up. All right, and now it broke again, it retested. Okay, and it's popped back down. So we're going to redraw that guy since it made a new low. And you'll notice that it broke. It's been playing around in here. It's broken back above this particular trend line. So we're now drawing this third trend line. That's where we are for the moment. And if we break below that, that's going to be a bearish signal. So watch that for sure. I would also, in order to track price and track bearishness or bullishness on the price action, I would draw some diagonal support lines as well. Okay, a couple of the lines that I would draw, I would successively get smaller time frames. So let me make that a little smaller. We're going to talk about wave structure here in just a minute. But as far as when we shift bearish, this is your major support right here. That is major support. Okay. Really major support. If you want to draw this one here, I mean that's dynamically major support way down here. Okay. But this is your next. Well, actually, the next support would be from there to there. Okay. And then we're going to have this one here. That'll be support. And you'll notice that the weekly 200 moving average kind of fits that trend line right there. So you see the weekly 200 is just moving up on that trend line on Bitcoin right now for the moment. Okay. But that's support. Okay. Then the next support I would draw would be from this peak here to that peak there. Okay, that support there. And then finally, as we get a little tighter, we're going to draw this one right here. Okay. And what I like to do is I like to watch price. As price rolls over and comes to these lines, do we bounce off of them or do we break them? Every subsequent break, we get more and more bearish. Okay. Okay. So in other words, if we could see price action taking us down, way down, just like this, and this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down to $4,000, and then we shoot the moon down the road. And that would take years to play out. That downward trend would take years to play, and that's the bearish look. Okay, but we're not that bearish yet. We know that this wave structure is a possibility on the chart. But right now we have the bullish signs. We're not necessarily looking bearishly at the chart yet. Okay, so we don't have any indicators right now of bearishness. Right now the indicators are bullish. Everything is bullish for now. Okay, so my bias right now is a bullish bias. Okay, so let's talk about moon boy counts here and where are the bullish counts taking us if we break bullish. Okay, now first off, we want to draw the trend lines, the bullish trend lines, that if we start breaking them, we get more and more bullish. Okay, right now, this line to this peak right there, that's where we are. We're playing around. Okay, right. Let's see if I can draw that better there. Right now, we are playing around this top trend line right now. We are breaking it. Okay, we are threatening to bust through that right now, and if that trend line gets broken, things get bullish. The only next level that we get more and more bullish, and where we don't know where price is going because we don't have any price action to compare it to, is the last all-time high. Okay, so we have not only this diagonal trend line to the downside to watch that we are threatening to break at the moment. Okay. We also have the all-time high, and those are the last points of resistance. When price breaks through those, there's a good chance that subsequent weeks to follow are going to become more and more bullish as price remains above those lines. However, if price action happens in such a way that all we get is a break of it and it just pops and price pops back in. Okay, so it breaks it and then pops back below the line. We can't really stay or remain as bullish until it breaks it and holds and closes above this line, and then above the all-time high. Okay, we don't get ultra bull until those things begin to happen. So we have an ultra bull warning. We have a bullish warning right now. We are threatening. We've had a really bullish weekly close. Okay, and now, I mean, it's a bullish engulfing candle, engulfing the last bullish doji. What was that? A gravestone doji? Not a gravestone doji. Inverted hammer. Something of that effect. It engulfed that, and it engulfed the previous red candle. That was the weekly red that was before that. Okay, this is the uptrend I've been talking about. I've been saying the last couple of weeks that the wave that we've been forming just doesn't look finished. I've been waiting for this bullish move to the upside, and they've been giving us those bearish kind of sentiments the last couple of weeks. Prior to this last week, they've been giving us bearishness, but we got a bullish candle now. It has now closed. And so we've got to respect that. Now, usually, guys, when you have a bullish engulfer like this, there is going to be a retest. There's going to be a retest of usually a normal retest would be 50% of the previous candle. So this candle that just closed, it is likely that we get price action that retests 50%. You'll notice that 50% of that of the body of that candle is the top right here of those two candles there. So as we look at weekly levels, that what level is that? $65K, roughly. 65K, guys, is a very, very important weekly level. That there's a very strong chance that we retest 65K. Now, if we come down on smaller time frames to 65K in three-way fashion and we begin pumping again, that's going to be the area you want to consider taking a long. That's the area you really want to consider longing. We don't want to jump in FOMO right now, because that's when you jump in FOMO breakouts like this, that's when you nail the top. Okay, you get price action right up in here. You say, "Oh no, I'm going long," and you jump in a trade, and that's when you end up with a position right here, and then they bring it down. Then all of a sudden, you're waiting. You've got drawdown in your trade, a 5% drawdown. Okay, and when you're trading leverage, 5% drawdown, that is huge. That'll liquidate your account if you're trading heavy leverage. Okay, so you don't want that kind of move if you're trading big time. If you're trading spot or whatever, still not a great entry. You want to wait for a candle that has a retest of the previous one, and then you want to see market movement back to the upside afterward, and look for the entry and have an appropriate stop. All right. Okay, so with that said, that's candlestick analysis there on the weekly chart. Here's a top trend line that we have closed. We are testing, and now we have price action that is forming right now above that trend line. That doesn't mean price is going to stay above that trend line. It simply means that right now we are threatening. Okay, so you got to respect it. You got to respect it. Now, I'm not even okay, just checking the chat. What's up, Chemo? I see you commenting on my 65K level. Yeah, breaker block there. Yeah, perfect. Now we've even broken above this little level right here. What is that level? That is 68K roughly. So 68 was a pretty strong level. The next level that it needs to break is going to be 69.7, which we are currently pumping into right now. Okay, and then the final level of real resistance, well, is going to be 71.4. So 71.414. Those are the weekly levels that you need to pay attention to, and of course the all-time high resistance there. All right. So what's the wave structure? Where's it telling us it's going? If it's going to move to the upside? Well, the way I'm looking at this wave is as an impulse wave. We look at this as a 1 and a 2. Okay, we're looking at this as a 3. This is 4. So we're looking for a wave 5. Okay, and we're in the process right now of making that wave 5. Now I contend that there's a good likelihood that the wave 5 is going to be extended. In this wave, we've had a lot of extended fifths. It seems that the character of this particular wave is extended fifths. Okay, so I would not be surprised to see an extended fifth wave here. We've talked about this the last several weeks. My analysis over the last several weeks, if you want to watch last week, I really did a lot of fibbing. I did a lot of Fibonacci measuring here, and that brought us to 145 as a strong area of potentiality of where Bitcoin might be going. Okay, 145K. Now, when is it going to get there? Well, I don't know when it's going to get there. Let's see. Let me draw this trend line from that peak to that peak. It would require a throw over of the channel, which is fine. Now it would be interesting. Let's draw a channel on this thing just for kicks. Let me draw it well. I'm not sure how to draw it. Go down to a smaller time frame, just a little bit there. I'm not sure how I want to draw this. I'm going to start from down here. That's not bad. So we're threatening that channel. Let's draw another. Let's draw it another way. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the channel here at all, to be honest with you. So I'm not gonna mess with it. But the way I'm looking at the entire wave is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean that's your moon boy count. Okay, that's basically three pushes. Okay, push 1, push 2, extended fifth wave, push 3. Okay. That's one option. We're going to talk about bearish options shortly, but that would take us fifth wave extended up to about 145. Now there are lower targets, guys. It doesn't have to go to 145, but I think 145 is a plausible target, especially considering the largeness of the structure that we're seeing down here. Okay, go to the I feel like I'm just repeating last week's analysis, and so I don't want to redo it all. Okay, but basically, okay, if we got a 1, 2 here, that's a 1, and that's a 2. Okay, looks like we've got another 1 and another 2. Okay, maybe. Not a big fan of that count, but could be. Which means we got another 1. We need a cool off period. Give me a 3-way pullback again. That would be fantastic. And then let's break up fast and hard. Okay. So I'm suggesting that this count could take us into a corrective phase again into the election. And then following the election, in fact, yeah, what I just drew right there takes us to the election. Boom. Right there. So we get a corrective wave back down, and then after the election, we see things start pumping up. And that's when we start going, we go into the moon. Okay. That might be because a Trump win means, positive things for Bitcoin. Trump promised to block CBDCs. He promised to be a friend of Bitcoin. So a Trump victory would be bullish for Bitcoin. It would be potentially bullish for markets. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. You could argue that I think after Trump's victory last time, there was actually a correction to the market following the election with Trump. But then there was a steady push back to the upside. So the correction came, it came in COVID in 2000. It found its culmination in the COVID lows. Excuse me. Woo. Okay. So yeah, maybe it's bad for markets. I don't know. Maybe Kamala wins and it's bullish for big. I don't know. I can only speculate and guess as to what do you guys think. What do you guys think of how the election might affect. Andrew Vegas, I don't do log scale. I've got a history with log, and I don't use log. It's just a okay. So yeah, I think there's a good chance we get a pullback here and a pullback. We're going to get a pullback here, but probably a breakout to the upside following. Yeah. You're right about that, Chemo. Joseph, I agree with you. I think fiat is gonna die. Don't forget, guys. Don't forget the 1988 Economist. How many of you have seen the 1988 Economist? Cover. Maybe you've never seen it. Maybe. I'll point it out to you real quick. Let's go to images. Boom. What in the world? Here, I'm just wondering why all these other stuff. Here's the 1988 Economist cover. What in the world? That's not even the full. I'm starting to think. Oh, there we go. There's a good one right there. There it is. So what you got here? It says get ready for a world currency, and you've got a burning pile of fiat money. It's world currencies. It's not just U.S. dollars. It's dollars. It's fiat money from all over the world. And it's burning. It's burning. And you've got a phoenix here rising out of the ashes of burning fiat currency. And he's wearing a coin here. And, it says 10 on it. So it's got value there. And it's got a year here. It says 2018. That's so interesting. 2018 was just after. It began just after the $20,000 pump, the first pump to 20K Bitcoin. And so a world currency, digital world asset, rising out of the ashes of fiat currency. So the fiat currencies have to die. They have to go down. They have to crash. That's going to reduce the value of the fiat currency and inflate the value of whatever this new currency is, namely digital currency. So I think there's a good reason to believe, to be bullish on Bitcoin. There's a very good reason in the long term, right? Unless Bitcoin is not the new world currency, rather it will be some other digital asset that's built on the same technology as Bitcoin, but just not Bitcoin itself. So you have to understand that Bitcoin is not locked in to be that world currency. It is not locked in to be that new world system of money movement. Rather, it is a technology that is just in the last couple of decades risen and grown and developed and has begun to take on more and more global acceptance, no doubt. However, it is still in the infancy stages of that currency. And so you've got to understand that what we have in this 1.0 digital currency era, there's going to be a crypto 2.0 coming. In other words, there's going to be an evolution of crypto, and it could be that whatever the world currency that's going to rise out of the demise of fiat, it's going to be a second generation or a third generation even of digital asset, and it may not be Bitcoin as we know it. It could be some other digital asset of some kind. So keep in mind that everything you guys are when you're investing in crypto, you are completely speculating, guys. You've got to understand that. You are completely speculating on the long-term value and worth of Bitcoin itself. It is better to speculate on crypto as a whole and speculate on the usability of the technology and the ideas. Yeah, absolutely. I that's where we're going, right? But to think, oh, Bitcoin is the one. Bitcoin is the only one. It is the long-term solution. I think that's narrow-minded and probably putting too much emphasis on one digital asset. You really need to do your homework on what are the banks using? What are the banks moving to? What are the banks planning on? Because whatever the banks are doing, that's what you need to be doing. So if the banks are utilizing the DeFi network, then you need to be gravitating to DeFi. If the banks are using XRP as their, then maybe you need to be gravitating to XRP. But even then, watch out for head fakes, because they could be saying one thing and doing another. Often, you got a history of, like, for instance, J.P. Morgan or Jamie Dimon, for instance, just saying one thing on a news channel about how bad crypto is, while his corporation is just completely buying up the asset like crazy. So they'll say one thing or make it look like they're doing one thing, and then head fake you and do another. And so they know how to take your money, and they know how to get you in the wrong direction. So please understand, there is a world currency coming, and it will rise out of the demise of fiat. So we are in a global economic system right now where we have a dying fiat currency. Okay, the fiat system is on its deathbed. How long will fiat be on its deathbed? I mean, people have been speculating its demise for years, and it could be another decade before it dies. Who knows? Time will tell. There's going to be black swan events, and there's going to be wars and problems that's going to lead to its ultimate demise. It'll be planned. It'll be planned by the big boys. It's all planned out. They already have their plan, and they have to adjust their plan as they go. It seems that their plan was 2018. Well, they're a little late right now, but they're still on track. But yet, just understand that they alter their plan as they need to, but they're still executing their plan. And at the end of the day, they will take us to a digital world currency of some kind. And it will mean death to the dollar, death to your currency, whatever your fiat currency is, wherever you are in the world. It will mean death to that currency. Now, I speculate on how they're going to do that. And, personally, I believe that there's going to have to be a crisis so strong and so bad that the world is going to be crying to their governments, respectively, for aid and help. We got begging our governments to do something about whatever global economic catastrophe is playing out, whether it's collapse of the banks, leading to collapse of the shipping markets, to the collapse of grocery store market chains where you can't get any food, and whatever. There's a collapse to the system. Whatever would precipitate such a collapse, I don't know, but it could be bank failures, it could be war, it could be any number of combination of things, but it's going to lead to an environment in which people are becoming desperate for food and shelter and sustenance, and basically they're going to be crying to government for aid, and the governments are going to come in and say, oh yeah, we got a solution here. We're going to roll out. This is a good time to roll out this digital asset, this digital currency. Go turn in your dying fiat currency, and we'll exchange it, for your digital currency, and we'll set you up with your digital wallet, your government issued digital wallet. And we're even going to give you some free money. We're going to give you some money to be able to start spending right now, and to start buying and using in the world. And they're going to get this economy going with the digital, and the world's going to be so desperate they're going to gravitate right to it. They're going to like, yes, do whatever you got to do, and they're going to accept the system that's going to be a currency of the world. Digital asset, CBDC, central bank digital asset, and then by that time, guys, we're going to have probably lost all semblance of freedom. So that's my take on it. I don't know how that's going to play out exactly, but I keep going back to this, the cover of this, and then where I think we're going. So with that kind of global economic outlook, you say, what could happen? Well, if the dollar begins to tank, I mean, the rest of the markets would start rising, right? People are selling the dollar, buying other assets, buying the S&P, buying Nasdaq, buying crypto, right? Buying gold, buying silver, and we start having a blow off top of these other assets while the U.S. dollar begins dying. In that scenario, we could easily see the price of Bitcoin as the U.S. dollar loses its value. We can see the price of Bitcoin exponentially starting to move to the upside here, exponentially moving to 145K easily. No problem. Okay? So that's a way that Bitcoin could rise here. Okay, rise. So, is it going to happen overnight? No, it's not going to happen overnight. But the United States does have an election coming in November. Okay. There is an election coming. And that election, or whatever happens in that election, could precipitate some kind of scenario. Some kind of scenario that really is crazy. Okay, let me get to the chat here. A gold-backed Bitcoin would compete with a gold-backed blockchain would compete with Bitcoin. Maybe XRP, that tokenizes gold. Yeah, all the crap coins must go away, and for second stage of crypto. Yeah, Lee Berger, I mean, that's my thinking. I think that I personally believe there's a crypto winter coming in which there's going to actually be I rather than we see a pump. Now there might be one more final pump. So a couple of ideas. We could pump up, we could pump up shallow to 88. So here's another bullish idea here. So instead of pumping up to 145, and I don't know how it would go, other than some kind of wave to the upside. It'd be fast and furious, no doubt, if it goes up. But another idea is that we just pump up to like 88, 90K. We just finish this wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and in which case. We get a 3-wave move back down, retesting real support, retesting the real support areas of Bitcoin. So, in other words, we get a 5-wave move, and then we get a multi-year bear market that comes back, retests the real support, and during that bearishness, during that move right here, this is when all the crap coins die. All the S coins die during this phase of Bitcoin's movement, and then we might see a pump of Bitcoin after that. Maybe if Bitcoin's going to be around, if Bitcoin is staying around, then we could see a pump. But you got to remember, the ultimate of crap coins is Bitcoin. Bitcoin acts just like a crap coin as well. It's just got a lot more volume, so it takes a lot longer. But right now we're seeing the pumpings. What happens to crap coins? They pump straight up. They go straight up, and then what happens? They come straight down, all the way back down to where they started. Okay, that's the way it does. So right now we're pumping, so we could get that last pump, and then I just lost my screen. Let's try it again. There it is. We could get a Bitcoin pump here. 200K could go up really, really high, right? And then all of a sudden it just tanks, and it dies. Okay, so we get a final pump that takes us to what everybody's been expecting, and then we get the dump of the ages all the way. This is when crypto, all the crap coins die. This is when everything dies. Okay. And setting the stage for the, crypto 2.0. So that's a bullish scenario right now that takes us up. Okay, is that going to play out? No, I'm not saying it's going to. I'm not here saying anything is going to happen. Okay. Now, a bearish scenario here. Okay, I'm not ultra bull here. I'm just saying, hey, you got to respect the bull count. But a bearish scenario that I've been talking about for the last, I don't know how long, is that this is part of an A, B, and now a C wave. Now, the longer this price stays up here and looks like this, the less likely this looks like a C wave. Okay, but we're not completely out of the question yet. This could roll over and come on down to real support, okay, in 5-wave fashion. This would be a leading diag with a 3-wave pullback, and then continuing down. There's wave 3. We flag out for 4, come hit the low one more time, and not zero, not below 0. But yeah, that would be a 3-wave correction. Okay, to the life of Bitcoin, right? And then maybe we see it impulsing and going up and out. That's if Bitcoin lasts. But Bitcoin may, you remember, you got to have at least in your mind the possibility of Bitcoin not lasting. It may. I don't know, and I don't know what's going to precipitate, and I don't know what's going to precipitate a crypto winter and what that's going to look like and how Bitcoin's going to last through that. But I think one may be coming. Banks aren't looking good. No, the banks in general are not looking good at all. Right, so a banking collapse could be that black swan event that I've been talking about. That a banking collapse where they run on the banks. You try to go get your money and you can't get your money because it's being held from you. That's why you want to have some gold and silver in your repertoire so you can preserve your assets. Because when the banks collapse, they're gonna be like, "Yep, we're taking your money because that's what we're gonna do." I would say ADA could save you, Andrew Vegas, but will ADA definitely save you? I wouldn't say that. Who's the real Satoshi Nakamoto? I believe it's government. It's probably FBI or CIA. My take on it is that Bitcoin is the biggest Trojan horse there is. It's coming in under the guise of decentralized currency. It's coming in under the guise of liberty and freedom and decentralization. And what they're gonna do is use the technology that everybody begins accepting on those terms and take the very technology and use something different, CBDCs, and then enslave you instead. That's my take on what's probably coming down the pipe. So I'm pretty skeptical about any digital assets at this stage, because I know that we have some very, very evil entities running the show. Now, what's the timeline? How long is it going to take for these things to happen? I don't know. I don't know how long things are going to take. But things, again, we have an election coming up. We have some very volatile moments getting ready to take place over the next couple of weeks. We need to be prepared. Okay. Let's take a look at Ethereum for a moment, because Ethereum today closed a very, very bullish candle on the weekly. Ethereum, when you look at Ethereum here, you've got a support trend line right here. Okay, you got a support line, and you'll notice this candle that just closed, strong bullish. It's engulfing weekly. It just closed. They did not let it wick at all. That's a strong candle. It really is. And it also it did not break above this close. Did it break above that close? It did not. It's trying to break above this, but it did not close above that. It closed right at the same closing right there. So that's significant for sure. Let me take it Ethereum. Take a look at Ethereum in the small time frame here. Okay. Just want to have that chart open there so I can see it. Okay. So anyway, now the last time we had that kind of a bullish candle, I mean, it came right here. I mean, we had one right there. We had one right here. Really strong bullish candle. And then what happened? The very next week, we dumped. We had an engulfing, dump. So this coming week is going to be significant. Very, very significant week that we're coming into, because what happens subsequently this week could tell the tale for what this current week's price pump is doing. Okay, a couple of wave structure ideas here on Ethereum. Excuse me. Now, what I see personally is this looks very three-wave-ish. Okay, very three-wave-ish. That looks three-wave-ish. And this was looking three-wave-ish until it kind of did that pump. But it still has a certain three-wave-ishness to it. That if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have kind of a WXY going on here. 3, 3, 3. Which could then be followed by a move down like so. Excuse me. You have the kind of correction here on the small time frame that resembles, oh come on, this wave right here and this wave right here. This current price action resembles both of those waves. Now, what followed both of those waves? A dump that took the low out. A dump that took the low out. I would not be surprised to see a pump here that finished and then a dump that took this low out down to this trend line. Would not be surprised to see what I just drew right there on your screen. Okay, in Ethereum. That would not be a shock to me at all. However, you have to respect the bullishness of this particular wave at the moment. if we see price dumping, and if we get on the daily, if we got a daily engulfer candle that engulfed this thing, chances are we're not. You can kind of see whenever we get these bullish candles, the next candle is usually daily is usually playing around before we start getting daily closes that are lower. So I would expect, instead of getting an engulfer for them to reveal their position to us, they're going to play around, collecting as many, and if they're going down, they're going to collect as many longs as they can. They're going to make it look so bullish that they can get some people trying to go long. All right? But Ethereum does have a certain amount of bullishness to it at the moment. What does this wave look like to you? Does it look like it needs to go up like this? Does it need to finish correcting and go down like that? Which one looks more plausible to you? Which chart looks right? Yeah, Paul, there is low volume on that weekly candle. Is nothing to write home about. But what I will tell you is that we've had on this weekly chart, you can see the weekly spikes here. So we had these spikes. There was a spike there. Excuse me. Weekly spike here at the bottom of this. We did have a spike here of significance. It's out of character for previous weeks. But it's not like really big like this wave or that wave. The infamous one more wave, huh, Chemo? Just one more hit to the high. The infamous one more hit that never comes. Joseph Dietrich, have they filled their bags? Yeah, good question, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. All right, so there's a bullish count here. There's a couple of bull counts. I offered one bullish count that says, "Hey, we're going to maybe pull back here in three-way fashion, taking all the time it needs just to get to the election, and then start moving up and out." Okay, and all of a sudden you got a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then boom. Okay, how many times have you seen Bitcoin kind of start doing these choppy? Boom, boom, boom. How many times have we seen these choppy beginnings in Bitcoin waves, but eventually they just kind of keep going? All right. Guys, can I look at any charts for you before we call it a night here? Again, it's bullish or bearish, guys. But I started off the live stream drawing trend lines that you should be drawing. Okay, things you should be drawing on so you can track price. Okay, and every subsequent break of those trend lines, you're going to get bullish. More bullish or more bearish. Okay. I personally, I'm bearish for this week. I foresee a bearish week. More than likely. Let's take a peek at silver. There's silver. I'm very, very bullish on silver right now. I'm a buyer of silver, but that's not why I'm bullish. From an Elliott wave standpoint, a couple of things. This looks like a triangle. A, B, C, D, E, no. Looks like you got a triangle right here. The B wave. So you got A, triangle B, C. I don't like it. USDT dominance breaking out of a bear flag or a bull flag. Let's check it out. I'll check that out in just a minute. I'm of the opinion this is probably a one and a 2. This was a 3-wave correction. This was wave 5 right there, boom, of the C wave. So you had A, B, and then C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now this is a 1 and a 2. 1, 2. Okay. This is going to continue up. And if it goes up, there's a real chance. I mean, shoot. I mean, where would this thing be going? If this right here is a 1, 2, right there. 1, 2 there. I mean, $79 is going to be easy for silver to get to. 1, 2. 79 is easy. I would say 120 would be very likely as well. Then all of a sudden you got a 1, 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your third wave. Fourth wave. So I'm very bullish on silver. Gold the same way. I'm very bullish on gold. I don't think this is corrective and going down again. I could be wrong on that. But I'm kind of a bull boy right now on silver. Okay, let's check the USDT dominance. That'd be good. Get on the daily here. I mean, it hasn't broken yet, according to what I'm seeing. So yeah, when this starts breaking, yeah, we get more bearish, but and that certainly does look fairly bearish. Let's look at this another way. What if this is bullish? Yeah, I mean, there's some hidden bull there, but it's not strong. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's starting to break down for sure. We got some resistance here. What I would do is I would draw this trend line right there. Right there. Get a break of that back to the upside. I'd watch that. I would then watch this break here. If it, we're gonna get bullish when they start breaking to the upside. They break these other ones to the downside. We're bearish. We're gonna maintain our bearishness there. Good for crypto, bad for USDT. All right. Well, guys, there it is. There's the analysis. I don't know what else to say. It is up or down. Just respect the bullish counts, guys. But they are pumping it. It is Sunday. It is trap day. We see lots of traps on Sundays. I would not be surprised to see something just like this. A pullback, and then a pump up, and then a rejection. Watch out for stuff like that. That's what I would expect to see. Then we can see, shoot, another hit to the high and then another rejection. Hard. All right, guys. Thanks for being with me. I hope you guys have had a good evening. Behave yourself and watch out. Watch out for the market, but if I were just to guess what price action is going to do, I see on the chart a good chance of a correction right here. Just a three-wave correction. That's going to take us into the election. All right, guys. Have a good night. Let's meet again next Sunday for Sunday Night Charts. Chemo, thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate it. And everybody else that was here. Appreciate you guys. Paul, Joseph, good interaction. Andrew, I'll have to tell you about my log scale hatred another time. So make sure you check out Kemosabe's YouTube channel. He's got all kinds of ideas there. From different perspectives. He's got some interesting stuff there. So make sure you check out his channel, okay? All right, guys. With that said, have a great night. We'll see you later.